Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the workshop, the creative space of Madeleine Holly-Rosing on this episode of Words, Images, and Worlds. Madeleine, thanks for returning. Thanks for jumping back in and chatting with me for a few minutes.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And I know that we are talking about Boston Metaphysical Society, which is just a wonderful blend of so many things that I love, being sort of steampunk and fantasy sci-fi and mystery. So wonderful things that are woven in. What is happening that is new in the world of the Boston Metaphysical Society?
Well, we just launched the Kickstarter for our Volume 2 Special Edition hardback, which compiles our four previously published sequels, but has new pinup art and a brand new story with art by Claudia Balboni.
Hmm,
And we're also doing a brand new copper finished Art Deco style owl bookmark.
very
People
nice.
really enjoyed having the metal bookmark. So I have Alejandro Lee does all the designing on those, and he's been terrific. So I go like, okay, when do you have time, Alejandro? We're gonna talk about a new one. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, I mean, we did well. We did volume one earlier this year, the hardback. It came out beautifully, and people started nudging me. It's like, okay, well, we got volume one. Where's volume two and the hardback? And so I said, okay.
Nice.
I'll do it. I'll do it this fall. So yeah, we launched all of what a little over 24 hours ago. So fortunately, we are funded, and so we're
Congratulations.
thank you. We're heading close to our first stretch goal. So hopefully we'll, be able to do as well as we did before, if not better. And I'll be able to produce another beautiful book for everybody.
Cool, cool. Well, what is it like to have that kind of following to be funded? And clearly people are very interested in the work. That has to be rewarding.
It is, and it was kind of funny. I guess it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago when we really started taking off on Kickstarter, and then we got picked up by SourcePoint Press. And my husband and I kind of looked at each other and were like, "Huh, this is actually like a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's actually a thing." So, no, I do have a devoted fan base, albeit it's smaller than the big boys and girls out there. But I adore them, and they enjoy the stories, they enjoy the characters, and so now the hard part now is finding time to write, to
Mm-hmm.
produce more material as the business grows and life keeps happening. So every once in a while we got to take a step back and do something else, and then like okay, we're back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at those boxes behind you and just thinking about the time that it takes to do all of these things. Any sort of peek into the life of the kickstarting maven that you are that you'd like to mention as far as balancing the creativity, the business, and all of those things?
Uh, if you can get help with fulfillment, I strongly support that. I was able to do that when we did Pikes Peak last year. Everything like the planets aligned, the weather was good. We have a very tiny house, so we have to do it outside. So I rented tables, I hired two people, brought in a beautiful lunch, and in 5 hours we got over 300 Gemini mailers done. And that was great. And I swore I said I'm only going to do that forever. That's what I'm going to do. Um, but then this year with volume one, it was just really hot. We got the books in August. It was just too hot to have people outside. And also our dogs were we had to have the dogs inside, not only because of the heat, but they had surgery. So we really couldn't have anybody over. So I spent, I guess, 3.5 days cranking out about 400 boxes and mailers myself.
Oh, oh, yeah.
Not fun.
No, that
And
doesn't sound fun.
the The thing I'm looking forward to is for volume two. Those books will probably arrive in, early January. And by
Hmm.
then, the weather's going to be beautiful. This is Southern California, and I should be able to have the team back to help with that, um, which will be which will be great. We actually had a great time when they came over. It was like two big comics people, and we had a nice time. But no, fulfillment is a big deal, and you do have to prepare for it, which is why you see here. So, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
any stragglers that come in through Backer Kid, it's like, okay, I just start pulling out stuff, and it gets out the door. But yeah, I mean that's the back end side of it. The front end side of it is, you need to try to establish at least a very small fan base before you launch.
Hmm.
And even if you don't have the ability to do that, because I realize not everyone can do Comic Cons, those can be very taxing.
Yeah.
Uh, Fortunately, Kickstarter has a thing. They have a launch page now, so you can put together a little launch page. I'm sure you've seen it. It says, notify me on. You click it, notify me on launch.
Hmm.
And if you
Hmm.
start that, say 3 months ahead of time, send it through your socials, through whatever newsletter, whatever means you can slowly build enough. So if you have a small funding goal, you you should probably be able to meet that. But it's a great platform to start with when you are starting with nothing,
Hmm.
and work your way up from that. And then you can take from, if you're successful on your campaign, then you can gather those emails and those contacts and use that to start a future email list. But yeah, it's very difficult now on Kickstarter to be successful unless you have some sort of fan base, even if it's tiny,
Hmm.
um, to start. I mean, the platform has matured. And when I first started on it, it was 10 years ago,
Hmm.
probably a little more. I was like 2013, 2014. And then people were just, it was like spaghetti thrown up on the walls to see see what would stick. And backers were very energized to back all this fun stuff they'd never seen before. And then unfortunately, some backers got burned because creators didn't come through. And we all had to level up.
Hmm.
So when I talk to people about doing a Kickstarter campaign, one of the first things I tell them is like, one, go back a couple campaigns. Absolutely. See how other people do it. See what annoys you, see what you like,
Hmm.
and then do what you like and not what annoys you.
That makes
And
sense. Makes
also
sense.
study campaigns. See how they're run. See how often the updates are, what kind of reward tiers, the pricing, uh, all that fun stuff. And
Mhm.
follow people, see how they work.
What would sort of the introduction be to the
Oh, the
stories?
introduction for Boston Metaphysical. Yes, of course. If you've never heard of it before, it's about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battles supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. We started with a 6-issue miniseries, which is volume one. We then did 4 standalone sequels, which is now in volume two.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we're halfway through our new series, Mystery at Pikes Peak, which will eventually be 4 issues. We've got the first 2 issues done, but you're taken on a journey through various cases, particularly in every single one uh, issue that may or may not be supernatural.
Hmm.
So sometimes it could be, something else is going on, and so they're able to differentiate between what's real and what's not.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so yeah, there's mystery involved and detective, and you've got some paranormal activity going on. And each of these cases changes them in some way. And particularly, Caitlin, who is our medium and spirit photographer, has gone through a lot of changes since the very beginning of the series. She's not quite the same person
Mm.
as she was, not quite. She was never innocent to begin with, but not quite as jaded.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot, a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen. Uh, but it's been a fun series to write, and I particularly enjoyed writing The Ghost Collector, which is the new 10-page short in volume two. And in fact, I think I may go ahead and do a novella and expand on that one because I'm like, this could go farther. This could be really interesting to do something else with. But I would do that on the prose side.
So it sounds like I could enter at any point and really dig into the story.
Yes. Everything is set up as a standalone because I never know how people are going to enter the world.
Mhm.
And I learned that very specifically when I think I was at a con in San Jose, and a gentleman came to my table and he told me, "Oh, this is on my pull list," which was really cool to be on somebody's pull list. I was very excited about that.
Mhm.
And he had all the sequels, and I said, "Well, we started before that, right?" And he was like, "What?" And so he got what our first edition of volume one. But yeah, like you can enter, and what all the stories do is enrich each other,
Mhm. Mhm.
so everything complements everything else. But yeah, you can start wherever you want. And
Cool.
that is also the same with the prose, the novel, and the anthology, and even the audio drama, The Ghost Ship. That's a complete standalone as well.
Now, what's it like to work across audio and then prose and then comics and work across that way?
It's challenging. Your brain has to kind of switch gears, but I really enjoy doing that.
Mhm.
For me, it's a challenge. And if we ever do another audio drama, I've no doubt I would do it better than the first time. Uh, because I learned that I needed to put more direction in for my actors
Mhm.
to understand, where they were in that scene, particularly when you're doing remote recording.
Mhm.
And though they did a great job, I mean, the ones they were amazing. That who we hired for the ghost ship, and but yeah, it does take kind of a switch gears. And one thing I've noticed that when I do write prose, I tend to underwrite,
Mhm.
and I need to go back because I'm so used to doing short, 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 compressed, 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 that here I have the ability, like, oh, now I can really expand this and go deeper. And so, I mean, but that's what rewriting's about. You know that. It's like,
Yeah.
let's just get something on the page and then go back and, oh yeah, no, I need to add this, I need to add this, I need to add this. And it works out fine. It's just part of the process.
Well, if I'm a listener and I want to find out more, where would be a place that I could go to do that?
You could come to my website, bostonmetaphysicalsociety.com or queenofmercia.com. That's the name of my company. They all go to the same place, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, you can learn more about me and the books and the world. And there's also a chronology on the
Mm.
website. If absolutely want to read everything in order, everything is laid out there. Uh, you could also go to Kickstarter. Um, I think this is number 15.
Mhm. Wow.
Uh, but yeah, I'd say go to the website.
Cool. 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 Well, have we missed anything in the talk through that you want to make sure to share before we close out?
Um, Other than the Kickstarter's going on right now, it will end on Friday, November 1st in the morning. And We have early bird specials going on, though I think they'll probably be expired by the time this drops. So, I have those on for like the first 3 days and
Hmm.
then they go
Hmm.
bye-bye. But yeah,
Gotcha.
we'll be on Kickstarter till the end of October, and we're already funded. We're about $450 from the first stretch goal, so hopefully we'll get to that tomorrow. And then there'll be more stretch goals and more fun stuff to give to people.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Madeline, I'm always glad to have you back anytime. And thank you so much for the creating and glad to share about your work.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks.